Hey everyone, welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and Damon Williams is here with us. He is in the NYC, and Ahmed is going to join us in a little bit. Folks are busy, and I appreciate your coming and hanging out with us, Damon. You're on the Sherry show. You just recorded some stuff for Sherry Shepherd.
Yeah, we did the live version today. I was basically the man in the audience, and I'm sorry, that's my phone. I didn't. I was rushing. So, okay, but yeah, I actually had some commentary on the show today, and Sherry came out last night to what I did a little small room in Harlem, just as an
Uh-huh.
add-on to this weekend because I came to New York because my man Talent booked me to do a show in Jersey. Okay, East
Oh, great.
Brunswick or wherever that is, East Brunswick, New Jersey. Did that Sunday, so I said, well, let me check with Sherry. I could stick around, do the show Monday. But they did the NAACP, and she won the award. So they had an all recap, so there would have been no room for me Monday. So I said, okay, I'll stick around. So I booked the Monday show, and then I booked the Tuesday show, and now a Wednesday show. So I'm gonna be on the East Coast until Thursday. But we had fun this morning,
Wow.
so I told Sherry where I was, and she's so real. Sherry showed up. She didn't have a wig on or nothing. It just was Sherry with a little ball, and she came to the little hole in the wall club, and she came to support me, and then she went up and said something to the people, and we had a great time.
Once she can take that wig off, she's good. She's really, yeah, she is so real. You're absolutely right.
And thank you.
So
I just saw somebody say I did a great job on Sherry today. Appreciate it in the chat.
I was gonna, and that Dad's Girl clothing said that you were great, and you were. I just wanted to amen that. And you also have some observations about the weather there in New York.
Yeah, so I'm supposed to be tonight going to Salsa con Fuego, which is a Spanish salsa club, and it's an
That's Rob
amazing facility.
Stapleton.
Rob Stapleton Tuesday night. It's an amazing facility, and they always have great crowds. But they decided to pull the plug because I was already replacing Guy Tori. Okay, Guy was
Oh.
supposed to be there, and something happened with that, and then they said, okay, we'll just do a quick little show, and I'll come in and do that. That's why I stuck around, and then they canceled it. But I told the whole studio audience that Sherry, they can come out as my guest for free, and they canceled it because it snowed. But it snowed last night. Man, look at this, Sybil. You see
That's
all that
looks.
pavement?
It's
Yeah,
just wet.
yeah. Come on, man. That's like a rainy day in Chicago. So anyway,
Right,
they
right.
canceled my show for that, and now I'm not going to be performing at Salsa con Fuego. So don't go over there if
Okay.
if anybody happens to watch
Whatever
this
you do.
and plan to do that.
No, you definitely don't want them to do that. But I don't get what people are get so upset about the weather. And because we were in Baltimore this past week, and it's like, oh, it's raining, it's snowing, we're gonna get snow, and it's like you don't really know snow here in Baltimore. I got to tell
And
you,
and
and
that's what bugs me is because New York does know snow. You know,
yeah,
they've had it, but none of us have been getting the snow we're used to getting this year. It's been a very mild and an anomaly of a winter. So this has been there. It was all they were overhyping it on the news. It's the first snowfall, and it's the first big snowfall. And it's predicted to be anywhere from 3 to 5 inches. And we talked about it a couple weeks ago. 3 to 5 inches ain't got nobody worried about nothing. Um,
nothing, absolutely not.
but here, so they were going to the hardware stores and asking if they had shovels and snow, and they overhyped it, and now it's gone. And anyway, it is what it is. Thank God we had a mild winter. Hopefully that made people's lives a little better. It wasn't as cold as it should have been this winter, and that saves on utility. You know, that offsets the price of eggs.
Yeah, and hopefully that will be the case. I know that they said that Wednesday is meteorological spring. March 1st is meteorological spring, but they said that it's not over with yet. We're still going to get some weather. Now, I was trying to get in touch with my family in California, and they were
Ooh.
just like, I said, "Well, so is it snowing? Is it what?" My cousin in Orange County said, "No, it's just raining, and it's raining in my house." I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So,
Wow.
yeah,
Now,
yeah,
see, I
yeah.
could
It's kind of
understand people getting in a frenzy for snow in California and concerned about not driving. And because Arsenio posted something and it was like a little sleet and it was a couple of flakes. And I said, "Oh my God, there are tiny pieces of ice falling close to schools." And,
It's
and he really enjoyed that comment. And definitely, I could see California freaking out, but it's New York, man. It's unfortunate for the people that may go and look for me, but it'll happen again sometime soon because I definitely will be coming back out here and touching the Sherry stage as often as possible.
That's great. That's great.
And
And once again,
congratulations,
congratulations.
Sherry and our good friend John Murray for winning those NAACPs. Plus, Kim Willie's here, because she's doing the View, and they won for the Two Funny Mamas podcast. Which, let me
Podcast, yeah.
state for the record, I gave them that title.
Did they thank you in their? I saw the speech. I don't remember them thanking you for the title.
I ain't even bring it up, but yes, they asked me what's a good name for it, and I said, "Well, y'all both mothers and you're both funny. How about Two Funny Mamas?" But I was doing the number two, and I think or TOO. Either way it goes, they used it, and so I too today am an NAACP Image Award winner by proxy.
Right, exactly. Well, congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you.
And did you come up with the Sherry Show title as well?
I did say that. I say you should just call the show Sherry. I think her mama came up with that one, but yeah.
That's funny. That was funny. Yeah. Well, let's move to the What You Need to Know newsletter and see what's going on in the news. Our top story that I wrote is about this character who is the cartoonist behind the cartoon Dilbert. I want to know your thoughts on this. I was on with Erica Campbell this morning, and Griff was like, "Man, this dude is like," and you got a lot of words in your head that you can't necessarily express in mixed company. But this cartoonist is named Adams, and he was fired by everybody.
Man, the word that comes to my head is not even one word. It's a hashtag which I use when people do dumb things. You big dummy. Why
right.
would you go online and express these thoughts? See, that's the repressed racism and frustration that some white men, I'm sure, feel, but they don't have a place to express it where they're not getting backlash. But if it's just you and you by yourself and you decide to go on your little live or whatever and say something, there's nothing to filter you or edit you. But a lot of people probably feel that way about us. And I understand, you know, if you want to just purge your feelings and your frustration, and he maybe even was liberal and thought he tried to help some people and he encountered the wrong Negro.
He's not liberal. He's not liberal.
To that effect. I'm just giving the benefit. I'm being devil's advocate, benefit of the doubt. But you don't post it, dude. You put it in your journal or you scream it in your shower.
Put it on 4chan, you know, where all the other white supremacists are.
But the thing of it is, he basically is already set for life, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
Didn't think past, you know, just talking to the phone. And people get too comfortable on this social media and they ruin their lives and their careers. And thank God he did, because now we know who he is and people don't have to support him, and he lost all that money.
So he's been fired by other newspapers because of his earlier comments. The San Francisco Chronicle stopped carrying him months ago, the Dilbert cartoon, when it made fun of reparations to Black, when he made fun of reparations to Black people, not just the yeah.
So there's
he has history, right? Okay. His comments were in response, these latest comments were in response to a Rasmussen public opinion poll in which 53% of the respondents identifying themselves as Black, and Rasmussen polls I'm a little suspect of anyway, reportedly agreed with the statement, "It's okay to be white," and 26% of those identifying as Black people disagreed. So in this podcast, he was quoted as saying, "The best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from Black people." Okay.
Well, thank you. To be honest, one of the best and worst things that ever happened to African Americans was integration. You know, if you think about when we were forced to be segregated, we thrived and we had communities, we had businesses, we had every alternative to what they had. We had our own version of it. So you had your own Black dry cleaner, you had your own Black restaurant, you had your own Black car dealership, you know, and then we wanted to assimilate, and that kind of diminished us in a way. So do us a favor. It's definitely white people stay away from us when it's raining, because we don't, we don't appreciate that aroma that emits from you when you get wet. So I don't know if I'm gonna get canceled by all my white fans for saying that, but so be it.
No, no.
Yeah.
So the "It's okay to be white" statement originated as a trolling campaign on the 4chan message board, which has a long history in the white supremacist movement. And so this is what they "It's okay to be white." And so this is in response to the Rasmussen polls, in response to the statement. And then Adams got involved in this. And so in response to that, he defended his remarks on social media. He tweeted, "I'm not returning hate. I'm advising people to avoid hate. So stay away from Black people. That'll do it." That being my entire point. He also suggested the cancellation of his cartoon signals that free speech is under assault. Free speech is better than ever by his being fired. That's the way I look at it. And a number of other people have taken him on, but one who is supporting him, your buddy Elon Musk, the owner of Twitter.
Imagine that.
And now, yeah, exactly. Imagine
and you
that.
know, it is okay to be white, but it's also important that white people acknowledge the treacherous ancestors they come from, and the damage.
But they don't want to talk about that, right?
No, you can't even put it in the schools, none of that. But if you want to be comfortable in your whiteness, acknowledge what whiteness means, what whiteness has done, and then try to proceed from a place of compassion in that sense. But to just, say, I'm just a white guy and it had nothing to do with me, my ancestors, but you live in a gated community that was passed down through wealth, through redlining and other things that was done intentionally. This is a country that we came up in where we couldn't drink out the fountain, couldn't vote. Come on, man. We were 2/3 of a person on paper. Yeah, it's okay to be white, but acknowledge what has been done to us as a people.
They don't want that in the history books. That's what they're trying to erase now. And so when you're trying to erase that and you're trying to get rid of all that, then I'm sorry, it's not okay to be white. It's not okay to be the governor of Florida. It's not okay to be all of these things and all of these people who are trying to erase our history and what their history too.
And you said this in February, you big dummy. Could you have not waited to recover your racist rant till March?
You big dummy.
You big dummy.
Well, yeah, I mean, at least get through the shortest month of the year. You could have waited till Tuesday and then, go.
And I'm playing with that. Making
Hello, Ahmed.
Hey, are we talking about my man Adams?
Yes, Dilbert creator.
Yeah,
I'm making light of it, but what he's done is he has unveiled what a lot of white people probably think and how they truly feel and how they speak at their cocktail parties and such. And it just came to the light, and he fell on his sword for the people, because he ruined his everything as far as his career is concerned. Even though there's a place for him, and he can draw now, he can go straight right wing and draw racist cartoons and be himself and be Don Imus of cartoons and have a resurgence. So you just you never know.
Damon, look, it's not what they think. The action speaks louder than words. White people have been moving away from black people for as long as I've been alive, and I know as long as anybody else has been alive. HOAs have been trying to keep black people out of white neighborhoods for years. All he's done is said what they've already been doing. I have moved to several different neighborhoods. When I was growing up, I was living in the suburbs of Chicago, and I'd be like the only black family or one of the two black family. 10 years later, now it's all black. Why? Because once 1 or 2 or 3 move in, guess what? They feel they got to go. They've got to go.
He did a reverse Barry White. He preached what they practiced.
They preached what they practiced. Exactly what he did. Exactly.
Thank you, Sybil. That was for you. All right. That one was right there. Practice what you preach. You say to me this, you're giving me that. Practice what you preach. He preached what they practice. I mean, it's well known. And then they moved themselves so far out that they figured out and realized that they moved themselves into a 2-hour commute every day. So that's why gentrification is, they're coming back in all the major cities.
They're moving back to
buying up the land and tearing down the projects and things of that nature, because they built Cabrini Green and the Gold Coast. in Chicago. You know, they had the projects on the lakefront. This is prime real estate, and now they push themselves out to the suburbs, and now they figured out that they need to be in the epicenter of where the economy lies, and now it's reversing. So, like you said, that's nothing new. When we moved in the neighborhood, we moved into Beverly, well, in the 70s, and by the 80s, they moved the goalposts. Beverly no longer is Beverly where we live. They moved it up several blocks and made us Brainerd. But when we first moved there, it was white and pristine. My mother had vision. In fact, we moved December 26, 1973, the day after Christmas. And there was Gina and Lisa, two little white girls. They were cousins, and their families had 2 or 3 houses on the block. I remember seeing Gina and Lisa walking a pony down the block the day after Christmas because they had brought a pony. And I'm like, where have we moved? I thought we moved to paradise.
Pony.
And by the time summer came around, there was no more Gina or Lisa. They had all moved.
Now, I want to say this before
June.
I know we're going to switch subjects, but down here in Atlanta, the suburb of Atlanta, where I came down for my senior year in high school, again, predominantly white city outside of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I move away, go back to Chicago, start the radio career, come back to do radio down in Atlanta 10 years later, bring my wife with me, you know, and she's like, let's go to a movie. I'm like, movie theater right down the road. We go down there, hood as all can be. And she's like, why'd you bring me to a hood? I'm like, it was all white people. Last time over here, it was all 10 years. Everything changed. And the funny thing about it is, when I first moved down here, these big subdivisions with these big old houses, all white neighborhoods. They are now predominantly black neighborhoods, and guess what? They look the same. They're kept up. Everything looks the same because there's this thought process that once black people move into a neighborhood, they're going to ruin the neighborhood. And I can tell you for a fact, if you look at some of the developments that used to be all white and now are all black, they look exactly the same. Some of them look better.
Well, what stems from that, and what really you can take from that, is poverty is the problem, not the color and not the race. It's poverty. So the crime goes where the poverty is, and the problems go where poverty is. And if they would just distribute the wealth, then they would be safer. If they just realize the fact that if they spread the wealth, nobody's robbing somebody if you already got money. Mm-hmm. You know, nobody's breaking in your house if you have a nice house. So that is the problem, and it's been instilled from generationally, and that's why we are who we are, and that's why we have the problems and the elements that we have in our community. So moving away from black people is not the answer, because what you gonna do? Move to the edge of the earth? Because wherever y'all go, we coming. You know, there will be some black people in your neighborhood at some point.
We coming, and you're going to keep this circle going, because once we come, they're going to move back to where we were. It's just what they do.
And then they'll come back like they do in Chicago. You know, my mom taught it at Oakenwald at 40th and Lake Park, and that was all public housing. And then, you know, they had the most beautiful views, everything you can possibly imagine on the lakefront. And then, you know, my mom was like, man, to live here. And sure enough, you go back now and they've changed it all around, and people are trying to rehab all of those buildings and get in there and make them, you know, high price public housing. I mean, not public housing, but high price housing. So
my good friend Teddy Carpenter, comedian, had a joke. He said, what we should do is we should pool our money and have one family or several families buy the biggest, nicest house in the richest community and do the most ghetto things you can do. Park cars in the lawn, barbecue out front, wear do-rags, and then they'll move and it'll drop the property down, and then you buy the next house next door until we take over those beautiful, nice communities at a discount.
I mean, honestly, I believe that's what's happened in some of these areas, and we've reaped the benefit of it.
Guys, I'm being pushed along by our timekeeper, and just want people to know that this is not our only story that we are talking about in the What You Need to Know newsletter. Also, talked about the anniversary, if you will, of the murder of Trayvon Martin that people observed over the weekend. It was a Sunday, and this year it was on a Sunday as well as our health and wellness and the HBCU corner, HBCU Buzz. We were at the CIAA and saw the finals there of the men's and the women's basketball tournaments at the CIAA. Great time all the way around at the CIAA. So please check out our newsletter. It is absolutely free. Please go to sybilwilkes.com and subscribe, and we'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday morning. It's now time to move to the question of the day. And I think you'll appreciate this, both of you. Damon, you especially, as a man who knows his music and knows the tunes so well. What is that song lyric you find absolutely dumb? There's just no other way to put it. It's just dumb. Like Gorilla, who is the female rapper, has a song with Cardi B. It's called Tomorrow. And the dumb lyric is, I don't worry about my credit because I might be rich tomorrow.
No, read it. I love when Sybil, sometimes I'll be putting stories for Sybil to read because I just want to hear her read the dumb story. I'm like,
and I appreciate that.
Go ahead.
And then there's one dumb story we've never done because we just didn't have time for it, and we're still going to do it because I still want it. It's crazy about the man leaving his wife on the side of the road. But this is absolutely crazy. I don't worry about my credit because I might be rich tomorrow. Well, the likelihood of that, chick, is very slim. It's very, very slim. Are there any other dumb lyrics or thoughts that are expressed in songs today, yesterday?
From the windows to the wall, from the sweat. All ski, but it's one of the most amazing lyrics of all time.
Hey, but let me just say, we make fun of this current generation. We make fun of the youth and the rap and the hip hop out today. But let's fess up. We had Bip Bop Bam Alakazam. What? You went platinum saying Bip Bop Bam Alakazam. Come on, man.
You can't say no. Like, every generation got him.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Yeah, we can go back beyond that. Womp baba looba and womp bam boom. How about that?
Yeah,
what is womp baba looba?
No, we all had them.
What they mean?
We all had them.
We do. We all have, and we can't look at our kids and say, "What the heck are you listening to?" Because our parents did the same thing with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they absolutely
every generation.
Every generation.
And I always say the Yin Yang twins, are just as ignorant as anything that you can put out any era. So I loved them. Right?
Yeah. Those were your peeps.
Those were my people. I love them. I love Lil Jon. Hey, look, you couldn't. Those were my people.
How can you not love Lil Jon? I mean,
and the thing is, that man was a valedictorian, one of the smartest human beings to ever be around, and he played the industry like it was supposed to be. He played it.
But you know what? There are some classic, awesome R&B songs. Even Luther had a song that had lyrics that didn't make sense to me. It was called "Can I Take You Out Tonight?" Okay, He said, "Excuse me, miss, can I take you out tonight to the movies, to the park? I'll have you home before it's dark." How you gonna do that at night, Luther? You gonna go to the movies and the park, take you out tonight, but have you home before it's dark? Are we is this a 24 hours?
Unless you're in Alaska, yeah.
Luther was talking about the next day.
Okay.
Alaska and Edmonton.
Come on.
Edmonton stays in the summer. It don't get dark until midnight.
Man.
Yeah.
But that lyric always bothered me. To the movies, to the park. I have you home before it's dark. Can I take you out tonight? No, you can't do both, Luther.
But I mean, and that was Jackie Welsh on YouTube says Strawberry Letter 23. Explain it. It just
that's just called 70s drugs.
Okay, that's what we blame it on. Yeah, it was the 70s.
That's mushrooms.
That was some good-ish.
Potent.
Yeah.
Right. Mint leaf.
Yeah. How crazy is that? Also, Everything by James Brown. Was it crazy or was it just you just couldn't understand them? Now,
Damon,
let me tell you
please, I'm about to say the drugs again. Damon hit it on the head.
Yeah, in
with all
fact,
due
Boosie,
respect.
He was
yeah,
sweating all
I
that
did.
stuff out on the stage.
Boosie Collins did a interview once, and he said that one time they used to put what they call orange sunshine, which I think was a hallucinogenic of some sort, in a beverage, and they would sit around sipping it. And James Brown came in like, "What y'all drinking? Let me hit it." And James never did nothing, but he ended up sipping the sauce. And he said he went out and did this move, and he called it the boom. But he did this for 15 minutes. He just they didn't Bill Cosby James Brown by mistake.
He didn't know where he was.
He had no idea. That's funny. That's like, let me tell you, one
This
of
is
the
a
most
man's
gifted
world.
people wouldn't be nothing without
A woman or a girl.
One of the most gifted people is Mary Flowers Boyce, because before we had Google and we could Google the lyrics, Tom would have Mary decipher all the James Brown lyrics, the world according to Brown,
Wow.
the gospel according to Brown, and Mary Boyce did it. Now it took her, there's a lot of back and forth, but she did it, and it was unbelievable. So
y'all actually know what he said? Y'all actually know what he was saying? Oh,
and it sounded about right. So I don't know if Mary took some of that orange sunshine or what, but it was unbelievable the way she was able to decipher for Tom.
Tutti
Teresa Couch said Tutti Frutti already on YouTube.
And I had that segment too where we was called "If You Don't Know Now You Know," where it was lyrics that we thought it was saying something, but it was actually saying something else. And I did it one time, and Tom like, "That's a bit." So to find the examples of that every week was really a challenge, but there's a lot of stuff out there. What spawned it was I was telling Tom the story about the time when I was singing. I always sing songs wrong around my wife, or I'll hear her sing it right, and I thought I was singing it right. So it was an Anita Baker song, "Same Old Love," and I was like, "Cause we get into it 365 days of the year." But that's not the lyric. It's from beginning to end. And I had been saying, "Cause we get into it," since that song came out until I was doing the Joiner show. If you don't know, now you know.
There you go. There you go. Wow. Those are good times. I'm trying to think. Oh, I know it. What it was. Yolanda, remind me what the song was. Have a Mr. Pibb. It was one of those times we were in the car, and all of us, the comedians and some of the production crew and what have you, and Yolanda was starting to sing the song.
Holding
and
on.
What was the song, Yolanda?
It was LTD, Holding On.
I can't.
Can you hear me?
Holding on.
No, it's not a good.
LTD.
Yeah, holding on.
Yeah.
Holding on.
It's very hard to do.
And that's no lie. Holding on. You ever heard of it? Don't be like
not
that.
Like that.
That's a great rendition.
Thanks, Damon.
And one of the lyrics was, "And have a Mr. Pibb."
Yeah. And Myra let me know that it's never missed a beat.
Yeah.
I thought it was
lie away night, never missed a beat.
Mr. Pibb. Have a Mr. Pibb.
You see how you did that?
Yeah. And Yolanda is really a music person. She is really a music person, but sometimes she just doesn't.
I can hear that though. Never missed a beat. I bet you lie awake nights, haven't missed a beat. That song will never be the same.
Never. When you hear it from now, and poor Jeffrey Osborne, is like, no.
That's not
what sure when you sang that, you sang it with vigor too, because you just knew you were saying.
Reggie Barnes from Facebook. Damon, you gotta.
Where do you want me to put it? You know what? I haven't been visiting that lately, but thank you, Reggie, for bringing it back up. Because every Friday we would have a moment at some point on the show when "Where do you want me to put it" would come up. And one time it ran into Sybil, and I felt like incestuous. I'm like, I can't say that to Sybil. Sybil's my sister,
right?
But it was in the pocket. It was right in the pocket. I had the nail
right there.
Where
right there.
do you want me to put it?
Janet Ferguson, Princess Controversy. I thought he was saying, "Count your blessings."
Yeah. Arsenio had a joke about that. He said his mama.
Count your blessings. Okay. All right, Janet.
Count your blessings.
Another song that I remember when T-Pain said, "All I do is win, 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 no matter what," and your hands go up, and it stay there, and it was like, and it stays there, and it and it was like, wait, what? We're like, no,
that lyric, we all say wrong. Yeah, we all been saying, and you stay there, and you stay there, but it's and you stay there, and you say yeah.
And you say yeah, and I'm like,
so and they stay there, and you say yeah. But we always like we repeated "stay there" twice. Yep, that was a good one.
Like,
yeah, I didn't know that till right now. I didn't know that
today. You was today years old when you found out.
Yeah, and I stay there, and I say yeah, and I'm like, that's nice, T-Pain, but we're gonna continue doing what we've been doing. Thank you very much.
Right? Yeah, he was wrong.
Right. Exactly right. Exactly right.
That's the way the song goes. Okay, that's the way the song goes at this point.
That's a great example, bro.
I don't know what they're hearing, but it's a lot different than I still say that I agree with you, Damon, that all of us go through generationally, have those songs from our parents. I don't know about my grandmother, but definitely from my mom and dad and ours, and then the current generation, and they're just dumb.
Well, there's been this song.
It doesn't make any sense.
There's been this song circulating lately from your grandmother's era, and it's a blues lady singing, and it's a nasty song. So when I find it,
yeah.
I was just about to say that. I'm like, what's happened to me is listening to the older songs. I'm like, wait, I know what he's talking about now. I was like, no, right, okay, no.
Hey.
But this example I'm talking about is not innuendo. She is singing it, and they've been using it on the memes lately. But there's a song from Denise LaSalle called "Lick It Before You Stick It."
I've heard that.
Lick it. And when you sing it like she sings it with so much vigor that it's not a request, it's a demand.
Right.
Lick it.
Yeah.
And not a bad demand when you think about it. So
he said, if you want to make it better, you got to treat it like a stamp and a letter. Lick it.
Man.
Oh dear God. That is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. And that girl on YouTube says there's a line in Al Green's Can't Get Next to You where he says, "I've been trying to call you, but I don't have your phone number."
Wait a minute. What?
So somebody said, "Yeah, it works. It works. Don't worry about that. They will never hear this. I've been trying to call you, but."
I mean, how many combinations of 7 digits can you come up with?
I've been trying to call you.
Eventually, you'll get it. And I didn't know Al Green made Can't Get Next to You. I thought that was the Temptations.
Oh my God.
Oh, good. Oh yeah. So maybe that was part of the problem too. I can understand the Temptations. Maybe not. I don't know. Well, that was fun. I appreciate you all participating, and it's always a great opportunity to go back down memory lane, and we will Continue with those every once in a while. Get everybody an opportunity to go back down. That's another one of those songs that is. So this is Instagram silly to me. Memory Lane is the song, and you're supposed to do photographs to kind of make you laugh back down memory lane. And somebody just had one photograph.
Like, that wasn't,
there's no traveling down memory lane, just one old photograph, and the song plays.
It's all I got. It's all I got.
That's it, man.
Full song and one picture. Like, we're hoping for like a memories. You only get one, huh?
Right.
That's back down memory room.
Right. Exactly right. Oh Lord. So big election in Chicago. Not that it affects any of us, but this is a big day in Chicago. Lori Lightfoot is running for re-election against 8 other opponents, and she could be the city's first one-term mayor in decades. She became the first Black woman and first openly gay mayor of the third largest U.S. city, and only the second woman to hold the office. But Lightfoot, the former prosecutor and head of a city police review board, now faces serious challenges, and they're saying the best she can hope to come out is to place in a runoff. And for whatever it's worth, whoever the experts are, I'm sorry.
With Vallis, is that his name?
Yeah, Paul Vallis.
Okay.
Yeah. Who used to be the school board, and he messed up something else, but he's apparently the great white savior of people in Chicago. But they have a number of people. Chuy Garcia, and my favorite, Damon, simply because of the way that he speaks, and that would be Mr. Willie Wilson.
Brother Willie Wilson. Willie has faltered. His campaign has staggered. And that's because they didn't take my advice. I said he shouldn't do all his campaigns and debates and commercials via text message. If he was just hush, he might have had a chance. But actually, Lori's not even in second place from the last poll I saw. I don't know what's now, but yeah, Brandon was in second place.
Yeah. So and there's another young man who is.
That's who Gen Z and the millennials and my son and all them, they rocking with Brandon. They were definitely anti-Lori from the day she stepped foot in office, because she was a part of that police advisory board back in the day. She had something to do with, they felt, with covering up the Laquan McDonald situation. And they said she's really not for the people. She didn't come in with a progressive platform that she promised. And now she's claiming victories in certain areas that really didn't materialize. So it's not looking good. And I've been on like 2 events with her, because right now, you never saw Lori Lightfoot, but now Lori all over the place. Lori, you'll go to Harold and Lori be making your food. Lori be like, what you got, salt, pepper, mild sauce on there? Vote for me. Lori, I got extra mild sauce.
I just feel like anyone that got elected during this pandemic was in for it. You know what I'm saying? You saw Ms. Lance Bottoms, Keisha Lance Bottoms. She said, I'm no mas. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
done.
Even running there. I'm done.
Yeah.
So it's really tough to be a pandemic politician in these cities, and because there's nothing Lori could have done. I mean, absolutely not with her past to probably get past one term. I just don't see it happening.
I'm with Damon. I don't think that she has made any positive moves in terms of, I mean, even if you were on the police review board, you could have turned your view around, and you could have done something to bring about some sense of closure to this police review board, and given the power back to the people in terms of them, and making a cause or making their case for their cause. And so I just don't see it. I don't see it.
She was
J. Mall,
she was an extension of a toxic regime with Rahm Emanuel anyway, and that's who kind of made her. So she had a lot of baggage coming in, and she didn't do anything to shed it. And it's unfortunate, because you want to root for a Black woman mayor in Chicago. You want that to happen. You would think, from us all being raised by Black mothers, that she would bring that instinct. But Lori being Lori, she was actually trying to be more like a Black father. All right, so let's move on to our next topic, which is what?
I just thought it was crazy
what's she
because
gonna do
we've
with
gone
that
through
Robert
what, 2
Hall
mayors.
endorsement?
Like we've gone through like Chicago's gone through like two mayors, and I know like for the most of my life in the Chicagoland area, I just had Daley. I just had like one mayor for like 20 years, and then now like after he was gone, it's just been cycling out. So it's very interesting to see how Chicago politics have changed since Daley left.
Yeah, it would have been very interesting to see what would have taken place if Harold Washington would have lived, because I think he would have been a mayor for life, and he literally was, but his life was cut short. And after that, it's just been a hodgepodge. So we had Eugene Sawyer for interim mayor, and then once again a Daley. So in my lifetime, I'm 58. I've seen 2 Daleys have the predominant amount of my life as the mayor, and that just goes to show you how their political power fell off, because Bill Daley ran and didn't even come close. He lost to Lori, and she had a very minimal amount of votes to win.
Right.
So, you know, the sea has changed in Chicago. Hopefully we'll get somebody more progressive, someone that's more for the people and not the machine or the corporate structure.
And what did I see? Was it 5 of the 8 or 5 of the 9 candidates are Black people, and but the ones that are doing the best are said to be the white people, and particularly Paul Ballas. So it'll be interesting. And he has been appealing to people by saying he wants to take our city back.
Yeah, that's almost that's the lightweight "Make America Great Again." You know. Yeah. But of course, we are all. I mean, around the country, everybody wants a solution to crime, but the solution to crime is not more policing, it's not more incarceration and fines. It's the solution, which I stated earlier, is to solve the problems that people are having that creates crime, which is poverty and disenfranchisement and lack of opportunity. So whoever runs on that platform and actually enacts it will be successful and be a long-term mayor. But in the meantime, it's not going to stop.
See, the problem, and the only problem with that is that it takes time to fix that. You know, people want quick solutions to the crime, but like I said, you know, I've said before that crime and poverty, to me, it honestly starts in the education system. We just talk about Chicago right now. The CPS, the state of CPS is terrible, and that branches out into everything else. Could you got them as children coming up in the CPS where they go to school with no books, they go to school with no heat. In the wintertime, they go to school in just terrible conditions outside of maybe 1 or 2 schools. And now they're going off into the world without a solid foundation, and they're finding themselves stuck. Like when I hear about people on the South side have never leaving the South side, or on the West side, never gone anywhere outside the West side, because they're just stuck in those situations. It starts with schools, then you go to jobs, and then you go to like food deserts and things like that. But it takes time to build all that. And who has the patience to get a mayor in there to get those things going, and hopefully everything else works out so that their administration can keep things going for a long period of time. And if you can't do that, it's just going to be a cycle of non-ending violence in the inner city.
Especially in Chicago, where they had the largest mass school closings in history of a major city. You know, not only are that the schools ill-equipped, they closed down several of them, which created more problems for people who have to transfer to different areas where they may have conflicts, not feel safe, or have a larger distance to travel. So first of all, you got to have a school, then you got to improve the school. So let's hope that if Vallis does win and he has an educational background and he maybe learn from the wrongs that he did previously, not only in Chicago, but in other areas and other cities where he had positions, maybe that'll be hope for the school system, because that's where it lays. And I think that our schools need to change our curriculums to keep up with the times. It's no matter if you learn algebra or science, if you can apply it to something that'll make you sustain you as a human being. So we need to get back to trades and things that'll make you successfully employable right out of high school. That's what it used to be, and that's when we had middle class and blue collar jobs, and everything was going much better.
I agree, and
I'm a run.
I also think that
I'm running.
Come on, Damon.
I've come to a conclusion. If they don't do a background check, I'm good.
But I also think that you need the support of the city council, and it doesn't seem she ever had that. It was always, the rumblings.
She was battling everybody
wrong in the city council.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, and not likely to have an answer before. Brenda McCutcheon on Facebook says it's a vicious cycle. Businesses don't want to come to high crime areas, but people need jobs to help prevent crime. And we've seen how Whole Foods has tried to go into areas and it hasn't worked. They've decided
they go in and come right back out.
Well, they need to lower the prices then. I mean, the Whole Foods stands for take your whole check. So my brother, he's a trucker and he makes a decent wage, but he tries to eat healthy for his family's sake and his beliefs and such. And when he complains about the prices, so you can't come in an underprivileged area and have premium prices. You have to figure out a way to lower those prices to make it sustainable. And that way, then you'll keep the jobs and the enterprise, but that's not their business model. So, but if people understood that it's cheaper to prevent illness than it is to treat it, then you'll see that the money invested in your food will be better off than paying your doctor.
Medication.
Than your
medication high, baby.
And then there's that. Yeah.
Medication's high.
Then there's that.
I need all these need to go into more of these cities.
Med, you just came off of vacation. How was the weather?
Man, the weather was great. No complaints about the weather at all. If anybody goes on a cruise, you all know that you'll enjoy it for what it is. But then right around day 6, 5, and 6, you're like, time to get off the boat. I'm ready to go home. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's only so much cruise food you can eat, and there's only so much sea time, fun days at sea you can take. And so but we had an excellent time. I really enjoyed it. It was our 8-year anniversary trip, and my son had a great time as well. His first cruise, my wife's first cruise, and we were able to go to the Bahamas and check out Bimini and Nassau. The funny thing is we actually rented a Jeep in Nassau, and driving on the left side. Let's just say that let's just say that some people were mad at me in the Bahamas. Okay,
that definitely takes some
getting lane. You're okay, but when you have to make a turn, that whole thing is just confused. I'm like, wait a minute, where am I?
And also, man, now that you got your feet wet, you have to take one of these ultimate cruises where it's our programming, our music, our entertainers and such. And of course, that's the Fantastic Voyage, but there's also Festival at Sea and the Capital Jazz Cruise. Now, once you get on a cruise like that, Festival at Sea would be your choice because they allow children and families. You'll never go back to a regular cruise. And that fun day at sea will actually be more fun.
Yeah. I do want to say this though. I really do want to have the body confidence of a middle-aged white woman on these cruises, because the bathing suits that I saw, just like that's a bold choice. But God bless you.
It's a bold choice.
God bless. I'm sitting there in my t-shirt in the water. I'm just like, I wouldn't have done that. But hey, I'm not mad at the confidence.
Hey, listen, I'm on vacation. Right, I'm on vacation. I'll never see you again. Look all you like. That's what I said. I just noticed that Michael B. Jordan has a Calvin Klein underwear ad. It was one of the stories I did with Sam Silk, and I'm saying, okay, that's fine. We all aspire to be that, but they need a dad bod Calvin Klein model, and they can definitely expand their purchases, because that's who we really are.
For sure.
You know who did that though? Rihanna. Her Fenty men's underwear thing.
Fenty wear,
She had them big dudes she had them big dudes.
I haven't seen the ad, but I got a bone to pick Rihanna, because in order to purchase Fenty, you got to buy this membership. And then once you buy the membership, if you don't cancel every month, then they hit your account for $49. So I'm trying to figure out how to unsign myself, because there's only so many tiny panties I want to buy my wife.
Right.
Before
everybody got a subscription now, man. Everybody got a subscription now.
And Med, before we go, you also had a challenge regarding adult beverages.
Oh yes. So when you go on the cruise, the last time I went on a cruise with my guys, we all shared a room, and it forced me to get the drink package, which was like $300, and I don't drink that much. I just don't. And I'm like, this is a waste of money. So my wife, being the genius that she is, went online and found some videos. And let me, first of all, to the people that have found a way to put the cork into the wine bottle and then to take it out using a plastic bag, you are true alcoholics. I don't know what is going through y'all heads to do that.
Or
but my wife was able
geniuses.
either way, genius alcoholics. Either way, my wife was able to do that. We were able to get all our alcohol on the boat. And let me just say that I was very drunk the first few nights. So it worked out very well. And I didn't have to waste that kind of money. Because to make those drink packages work, you got to drink 15 drinks a day. And I ain't got that kind of time to be that kind of drunk 5 days in a row.
But being that drunk 5 days in a row will help you when confident white women wear those crazy bathing suits.
Great recall. Let's go, as if that wasn't entertaining enough. Let's go to entertainment. And Tom Brady is not only getting into the Fox anchor booth, but he's also considering a roast on Netflix. Have you heard about this? He's not a stand-up kind of guy, but he is considering this roast. And he is the recent retired NFL superstar, might be making people chuckle at his expense in the future. Sources with direct knowledge say that recent reports of Brady wanting to venture into the funny business are bogus. The 7-time Super Bowl champion is, however, in talks with Netflix to be the center of a roast special with the working title, The Greatest Roast of All Time.
I think it would be great.
I don't think he's ready for this.
No, I think he is, because Tampa Tom has a great personality. Tampa Tom was with the jokes, and all I'm waiting for is for Peyton Manning to get the podium, because the jokes are gonna fly. And I think he got it, and I think he has thick skin, and I think he can deal with it, and I think he can dish it out as well.
Yeah, nah, you're not ready for it. Nobody. I don't care how you play it off when a roast takes place. You're not ready. And if professional roasters hit him, it's gonna hurt, because the first thing they're gonna say is, you let a supermodel wife go so you could take showers with big black men. You lost a supermodel, and you are the punchline. They're gonna be like,
right.
That is not gonna go well for him. You let Antonio Brown stay on your premises with your model wife. There's so much material there. They don't want me to roast Tom Brady.
If you put it that way, yeah.
As a golden boy quarterback, he's been shielded from so many things. When they take the gloves off, he might lose it right there on the show. So I can't wait for it to happen. I look forward to seeing it.
I think it's going to be interesting, but I'm with you, Matt. I don't with you, David, man. I don't think that he has the thick skin to be able to take all of those hits. He doesn't have a good line. He doesn't, either good lines to return or an offensive.
He's gonna be like Trump at that White House Correspondents' Dinner when Obama
right.
He is not. He's yet to recover from that. Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. That was the reason why that man ran for president. So
that's my point.
Right.
So that means Tom Brady gonna have to start doing open mics after the roast, because he's gonna try to get him back. It's the only way he can do it.
And I think people, we've seen him from all the way from Dean Martin all the way to today on Comedy Channel. Those people, they're not ready. They think that they are, but they're not ready for it.
No, it gets brutal. And on Netflix, it's no holds barred, or even Comedy Central. And I've seen some people say some things, not only about the honoree, but each other. They go hard on those roasts. So, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. But Tom, if you're out there, if you want to hire somebody who's good at it, I'll help you with the comeback.
I was going to say, Tom will definitely get a writer. Tom will definitely get a writer. So get Damon.
He doesn't have the timing, says AJ mine plus 4. That's funny.
That's probably true.
Okay, guys.
Like I said, Peyton Manning was always my guy when it came to that kind of stuff. I think Peyton would actually be a good person in a roast.
But his brother roasted him
all day.
He lied. Yeah. I think that those two would be good. I know that the big draw would be Tom Brady, but I think it could be a disaster.
I'll give you an
could be wrong.
example.
With the right editing, it could be good.
Yeah. Eli was invited to the panel during the Super Bowl coverage, and they were showing the Kelsey brothers, and the Kelsey brother was kissing his brother on the cheek, and he said, "Have you ever kissed Peyton on the cheek?" He said, "No, but I tried, but I missed and always hit his forehead." Have you ever seen Peyton?
That's funny.
6 head, boy.
big A forehead. Yeah. They can thank Archie for that. All right, guys, let's move to Yogi's Jewel, the daily inspiration. If God's grace is sufficient, you can be gentle with yourself. How about that? Yeah. Let the church say, snap, snap.
Namaste.
Come on, Yogi.
Namaste. Hey, and thank you so much, Damon. I appreciate it. I know that I'm not sure. You'll find a stage somewhere tonight that's open.
Yeah, they're on my stage right over here.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
I'm about to be a civilian tonight and chill.
Okay, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. A little room service and a nice night's sleep. Good for you. And Ben, we're glad to have you back. And we will look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Take care.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks, Tab B.